this is easily not like a 9.2 out of 10.
9.2 out of 10. That's the beauty of being here, is we don't sell this anywhere except for Slice of Life.
Love it, man.
Exclusive to us. Welcome to Slice of Life, the series that shares the art of pizza making with special guests from all around the world. I'm your host, Anthony Camarda. Joining me today, I've got local artist, BDK.
Yeah, rookie of the year, catch my way. Face sense prime, put a face to the name, baby like Huawei. Armor of the king, tell my great.
BDK, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, how about you?
Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, thanks for coming. Everyone on this series, they'll get their very own apron. So, this is for you.
I appreciate that.
Of course. All right, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what we're going to be making today.
Hey, so today we got a Mediterranean influenced pizza with a red pepper base. We're going to throw some caramelized onion on that, a little bit of ribeye, and then we're going to top it with some blue cheese crumbles.
Let's get right into it. All right, well, they always say that acquaintances become friends once they share a meal together. So with that being said, let's go ahead and share a slice together.
We got to cheers with it, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thanks, bro. Supposed to give like a rating, like 1 out of 10.
Yeah, let's do it.
I gotta go back in one more time here.
I agree on that.
Wow. This is easily not like a 9.2 out of 10.
9.2 out of
Yeah.
10. That's the beauty of being here, is we don't sell this anywhere except for Slice of Life.
Love it, man.
Exclusive to us. This was a process for both of us, and we're both here, enjoying the experience together. So I wanted to make sure that not only did you have fun, but you also enjoyed what we finished at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
It's good, man.
Well, now I got some questions for you.
Cool.
So with the first question that I have, when it comes to making production of your music and everything, do you have any rituals or habits or any type of special spaces that you like to be in order to create the best outcome for your music?
Actually, it's kind of funny that you asked that. This question is actually, I think my process is probably much different than most artists. I think a lot of artists probably have time at home where they write, but I'm always, I feel like the process of writing and creating art is a ritual for any artist, how they do it. For me, it happens to be when I'm actually at work. A lot of people know me around here as a personal trainer, not the artist aspect of things. But when I do have downtime at work at Lifetime, I actually go back into one of the back offices and I put on, beats or whatever, and try to pull my inspiration, from those. But it's funny that like my process happens and my most creative processes happen while at work. And I feel like a lot of times that's because the structure of everything, my day is so busy that when I do get an opportunity to work on my music, it actually pulls out some of the most, authentic moments of me as an artist, because I'm ingrained in the go culture at work, that when I have an opportunity to go into the music, I'm just in that mindset and I go. So,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Well, in the music industry, it's no secret that you've got a lot of setbacks in life, whether that's your personal or your career or whatever. Are there any setbacks that you've had to face in the music industry while you're making your music that you've had to overcome in order to continue to produce?
I mean, I think like anything in life, money talks in like a lot of aspects, and I think that creating music in a lot of different ways requires me to make a lot of financial investment as well as emotional and just logical investment into my career of music. But I think the biggest setback is that a lot of people see me in different lights. I was an athlete for a really long time. Now I've been a personal trainer, and a lot of people see me as an artist. And I think this is probably true for most artists, but the support factor of things, just whether it's local or international, because I'm from California, and I've touched people out in Germany and lived out there as well as up in Canada. But the support and the backing of that support, it seems like people only want to support an artist or in general somebody who has a really significant idea is if that opportunity or that idea is already blown up. But it seems like in the grinding stages, the early stages where I'm not doing all the flashy things, like I'm not playing a ton of live shows and I'm not doing crazy numbers like on Spotify and like all this stuff. People only want to support when they see that it's already popular instead of supporting and recognizing the grind as it comes now. And I think that's something mentally that I struggle with sometimes, because you want as many people to support you as possible. And I get a lot of eyes on me just because of my athletic background. I have a large following on social media. Plenty of people see what I post and what I'm putting out, but there is a lack of support in return. And it's actually kind of funny, but I get most of my support from people who don't even know me at all.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people don't want to give you that recognition until you have other people that you don't know and don't know you that are celebrating you.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where you want to be able to push past that and make sure that you keep your head focused, because at the end of the day, you know where you're going,
right,
and other people don't know what direction you're going to take, because it's all based on yourself, and you're carving your own path for not only yourself but for all those who do support you. So obviously, everyone's going to have haters, everyone does.
Of course.
But, at the end of the day, you know exactly where you're going, and you know exactly what you want to do in life, and that's what matters most.
Yeah, and
so I appreciate that.
I think one thing that like brings to light though is like, as long as you know like what you're doing and the confidence behind what you're doing, I think there's always something to be said. I don't know if you know what self-efficacy is, but that's just the ability to know what you're doing and how well you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm doing music really well. I don't need everybody to tell me I'm doing it well. It's just really well. It's just nice to have people be like, "Hey, bud, like you're fucking killing it." Like all the ins and the outs of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I know that I'm doing it really well. I know that it's going to become something one way or the other. And if not, I can always look back and say I gave it my best.
Artists typically have a specific genre that they typically like to gravitate towards. Is there any in particular that you feel that you correlate your music to the most?
I definitely don't think I make music like most artists do. I think a lot of artists make a lot of songs that sound exactly the same and they seem really repetitive. And if you listen to one, you've heard them all. But I think that, my styles can be very diverse based on whether it's the mood I'm in or something in my life that's inspiring it. But I think I make everything from like an alternative, like grungy type of hip hop to your traditional kind of, sometimes I would say boastful type of rap, talking about my successes. But I also like to focus on my failures a lot as well. I think that's what's got me to, where I'm at in my life, and the things I've learned the most from are always from, the times where I was at my lowest. So I do, if you ever heard of the artist NF, I think I make a lot of, music at times that are lyricism wise that is similar to NF. I touch on my faith with God a lot, and just my faith in general as a Christian. But I talk a lot about different things I've experienced, girls, alcohol, trips, the rest of it. But I think that my genre is not just one specific. You could say it's rap and hip hop, but I think I have a lot of variance in comparison to most artists. And I like that my range has grown over the years based on the amount of time I put into it. So.
Well, I've been watching a lot of your music videos and I've been listening to a lot of your music, just on the daily, whether I'm going to the gym, traveling in the car, in the office, working, or whatever the case may be. So I've grown very fond of what you've produced, and I actually would like to hear your insight and the way that you break down a lot of your music videos or your songs. So if you wouldn't mind, we're gonna go ahead and pull up a few clips and let's just talk about it for a little bit. This type of guy, let's walk through it. Here we go.
So type of guy, we actually had a slightly longer intro and my marketing team actually cut it. And I'm actually not mad about it. We had a big shout out right at the beginning to Stillhouse Whiskey. Big fan. It's actually kind of one of my favorite bourbons. They make some good stuff. So we put that in there. But we were repping the Sacramento Kings jersey for this one. That's where I'm from, Sacramento, California. So I had to kind of throw it back to my homage. I went with a different director on this one, LKS Visuals. It's a guy who actually worked on, and I'm sure we might pull it up, God's Will as well.
Okay.
But we did a really good job aesthetically of just kind of fitting things together. Funny thing about this music video, we had to drive all the way out to Lancaster, kind of middle of nowhere, South Carolina, and then we had to walk down like this path through all these trees to this old Olympic swimming pool.
That's what that is.
It's actually crazy. So yeah, and it's super graffitied up. It looks crazy. And long story short, we actually ended up getting kicked out. We got ushered out by the police because we were trespassing, and they cited us. But one of the officers asked like when the video was coming out and stuff. But we had a good time for what it was worth. The bad part was though, we looked like we were up to no good. We had like a gas can out there as like a prop and stuff. Things just didn't look good. We used all these rose petals as well. We threw them all over the ground, and they said they were going to fine us for littering. So we actually had to pick up every individual rose petal off the ground and put it back in our bags and stuff.
Wow.
But you know your boy was out there sipping on a little bit of Stillhouse. You know what I'm saying? We were having a good time, bro. We were rocking it. I had my boy Sion doing behind the scenes. And then, the guy who edited this video and put it together, he did a really good job. He knew what he was doing. A lot of visual effects on this one as well. And then just the vibes. Like, I think as an artist, I do a really good job always of like making sure the energy's high. I think you see that all the time.
Yeah.
So as long as the camera's pointed on me, the energy is going to be there in the videos. But these directors have been going crazy, man. Like kind of doing their thing. This one's fun to watch.
The scene where you're inside of the cave or whatever that is,
yeah.
is that inside the pool? What is that?
Yeah, so there's like almost like imagine like when divers dive into like the deep end of the pool, they have like judges that can watch them from the other side, like to see that how they land and how much like splash they make. Anyways, we're in like that like bottom area where like the judges would like walk down to watch the divers like finish their dives and stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, this place was awesome, dude, and we probably had another 2 hours to shoot. We got kicked out, but if this video would have been, imagine if we would have been able to finish that just would have been crazy. Anyways, it still turned out amazing. My boy Christian LKS Visuals, he did his thing on this. So.
The touch of the special effects with the rose petals in the air was really cool.
Yeah, the way he zoomed in on certain things too and like moved around, and then watch this when I swing the baseball bat, it's like flying through the air. It was cool, man. We had a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good to hear it. God's will.
Yeah, baby. So this video, we spent a pretty penny on it. I'm blessed to be able to say that I made the investment in this video that I did. We put a lot of time and energy. We went all the way out to, trying to think of the city. We were like literally in like some coal mine area in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. But we're at this old cotton mill. Right now we're shooting down, this guy has revamps this cotton mill, and now he works on like used cars and stuff down there. We had some paid actors on set. John Martin right here, the guy is awesome. And then a couple others that did a really good job in this video. Start to finish though, I'm a hostage. They're looking for a specific piece, something that I'm supposed to know about. And so basically they're kind of like dragging me through this video and torturing me. At the same time, we just pulled all the aesthetics out, torture in general, from being blindfolded to knocked out to dragged and put to the trunk of the car. And then you'll see as we go forward, as I continue to wrap, the next scene is going to open up into where I'm like strung up and getting interrogated. The whole point of this video was to try to blend a music video and kind of a movie all into one and kind of give you that like film type of a feel. I think, overall we did a pretty good job of meshing the two together. I think sometimes some of this stuff did take away from the vibiness of the song, but all in all, like the aesthetics, you can't beat it. And I think it's a pretty good contrast, because if people like this, they're gonna go listen to the original song. The song's vibing itself. So, but no, shout out to all the actors. You even have my boy Tyler Selby, who's my engineer at Maximus, one of my best buds out here. He was also a part of it. You'll see him. He's the blonde-haired mobster in the back. John's beating the crap out of me right here. We had like special effects artists on set as well to like do all like the makeup and stuff. My boy Christian, who was on the last song, Type of Guy, did all the special effects with the phone.
That's
right there.
awesome, yeah.
You know, I'm supposed to have like superpowers in this. I think my eyes light up at one point, which is absolutely crazy. But the film work on this was really good. I mean, everything is crystal clear. Like the eyes right there, that shit's awesome.
What was the duration of getting all of this done? How long did that take
We
you guys?
spent about 14 hours on set.
Wow.
This film. Yeah, and it took a long time to set up all these shots and stuff like that. I was a huge fan of some of these performance pieces, though. They were really cool. I mean, it looks freaking-tastic. You know, you would think I was like some major artist, and I feel like in a lot of ways, like watching this video. But we're working on it. We're gonna get there. I thought it was awesome. Like I shoot a gun, and it legit looks like I'm like taking dudes out and stuff like that. So
whose idea was it to do this whole storytelling movie? Did they kind of give you different ideas, or was that a collaboration?
So obviously, like with any director, you know, that you work with, like Sion, I've worked with Christian, who worked on Type of Guy and also on God's Will, and then Julio Velasco, who worked on this as well. You're gonna bounce ideas off of each other, and you know, it should be, in my opinion, the artists and the director working together instead of someone just saying, we're gonna do this. So I definitely always put my 2 cents in because I want to have my own artistic flair.
Last, definitely not least, we got Always and Forever. Right off the bat, I instantly could pick up that you were being very meaningful and you were pulling some heartstrings. So let's hear about that.
Yeah, this one, I mean, sometimes it's really hard for me to talk about my daughter without getting like choked up or emotional because she's like everything to me. But this song is actually all about letters that I write to her in a sense. I actually finish all of the letters. I write my daughter a letter every single week. I'm away from her. And I always finish all of her letters with Always and Forever, Forever and Always, Dad. And I don't know, the song, I mean, like, just like hearing like the lyrics in my head, it's just like my biggest fear is like not being able to like live up to expectations of being the best father I can be, especially from how far away I am, and the fact that I'm not able to be next to her every single day, like, you know. It's tough. It's tough to talk about, but I put everything I had into this song. Obviously, this isn't a music video, but you know, this song means like the world to me. And I actually cried my eyes out in the studio when I made the song. Fun fact, though, I wrote this song like over like a year and a half ago, and it took me like 12 months to like go in and record it because I felt like it wasn't good enough. And it's actually like one of my favorite songs I've ever made. So. But I do appreciate you pulling this one up because this one actually does mean a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're choking me up just talking about it. So
I could honestly, I could talk about this for hours and we could just all be sitting here, and I could go into like the depths of it. It's tough just being away from her, but I guess my biggest like fear is like letting her down and not being like the best version of myself or a father could be. But like I want to be like her hero one day. I want her to always like look up to me and like, you know. I'm just grateful that she's given my life more meaning and that I can continue to pursue like my passions in music and pull her into that as well and like show the world through like my lyricism and through my artistry that my daughter is like my everything. So I do thanks again though for bringing this on.
of course, I appreciate you for that.
Oh man, drinking some of this beer.
So this one's a little bit more of kind of a fun question, kind of getting away from everything. If there were any, you know, let's say 1 or 2 venues off the top of your head that you could think of, where would you like to perform the most that you could see yourself eventually meeting up to that level?
Wow. This one isn't one I've obviously thought about a lot, but I think playing back home, there's a Sacramento Kings play in Golden One Center or Arena back home in Sacramento, California. I think playing in front of like my hometown, in front of a huge crowd would be something that I would love to do. I think that would be almost like an icing on the cake type of thing. Like, wow, like I'm so glad that, you know, my artistic background has brought me here. And then like I thought about different places that I guess now that I've traveled in my life and lived, and I actually lived in Berlin, Germany for a while, and I think it'd be really cool to play in front of a Berlin crowd. I have a lot of friends from back there and a lot of people that I've touched, and I just think it would be like that'd be such a cool like area to go into and perform in front of like a foreign crowd, but people and bring people that I know that live out there like to a venue. I think that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I mean, traveling around the world and just kind of touching hearts of everybody that you come in contact with, you know,
for sure.
That would be a really cool experience.
Yeah.
So my next question, is there a specific project in the past that you've worked on that you feel really stood out the most to you, that you whether enjoyed the most or learned the most from, or take me through that a little bit?
I mean, they all have their place. You know, every project, every song that I've worked on has its place in helping my development as an artist, as well as just like continuing to just put out good music. I think first and foremost, Hearts Reminders, which is one of my first EP. It is the first EP that I ever put, which is EP, if no one knows, is an extended play instead of an LP, which is a long play. An LP is a full album, EP is just a short album. But it was one of the first EPs I put out, and it was a completely different style. That was when I first started to kind of find my sound as an artist, as well as get a little bit more creative. And it's actually helped me continue to build. I actually released a Hearts Reminders Part 2 that I'm very proud of, where my sound clearly had gotten better and it stood out more. And I'm actually in the process of working on a Hearts Reminders 3 that'll come, I think like end of winter or like early spring, but it's gonna be some of the best work I've ever done in my life, and I'm really proud of it. So
I'll be looking forward to it. So are there any goals or aspirations or milestones that you could think of that you feel that you have set in mind that you want to be able to acquire?
obviously, you know, I would love to be signed to a major label and or be an independent artist and, you know, be pulling, you know, massive streams across all music platforms and doing crazy numbers. I think that's obviously the ultimate end goal. I think the ultimate end goal would be to be able to, you know, financially be able to support my life and my daughter's life to a higher standard than I'm doing now with just music alone. I think that would be, you know, fantastic, but we just got to keep plucking away at it and, you know, see if it sticks.
Of course.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes along the same basis a little bit, but for those who aspire to be artists or musicians, singers, songwriters, or whatever, what advice would you give them in order to keep pushing and never give up? And what is your best piece that you could tell somebody at a young age?
I guess just don't be afraid to fail. I think there's fear of failure and then there's being afraid to fail. And I think I'm afraid of failure, but I'm not afraid to fail. And they're kind of two different things where like you don't want to fail, but if you're not afraid to go and fail because you learn the most about yourself and usually you have the most growth in those, I'm just a big believer in you fail and you fall down and you get back up and you dust yourself off. It usually continues to level you up. And I think through the trial and error process of continuing to apply myself and not give up on it my sound has grown. I've become such a better artist. You can hear it in songs like I played earlier, Rookie of the Year. No one's heard it yet, except for you guys. But like, I mean, that's it's such an easy song to listen to, and it's like something that you could put on repeat. But it wasn't like that when I first started making music, and I think you just have to keep going and go. I mean, I'm 4.5, 5 years down the road doing this now, and it's only going to continue to get better and continue to grow more. So I think just trusting it takes time. It's like one of these things, like a lot of people think it's like they're gonna snap their fingers and be famous because they have some lick of talent. Sometimes it doesn't happen at all, but I think if you just stay adamant about it, usually the more often that you keep, you know, taking shots at it, you're gonna have more opportunities to succeed. So don't be afraid to fail.
And I think that's the best piece of advice that you could have possibly given us. So those are all the questions that I have. I really appreciate you taking the time, being here, joining us, and
I had a great time, man. Pizza was freaking fire, guys. The pizza was fire. Just
absolutely.
So you know, I'm saying right now, the pizza was fire. The beer was slapping. We had to do like another beer. I don't know if you guys saw that, like the transition, but the beer was going down and then it came back up. So
yeah.
But yeah, we had a good time. I appreciate you, bro.
Of course. And one last thing, I actually have a commemorative pizza peel that I wanted you to sign.
Ooh.
In honor of you being my guest.
Let's go.
On Slice of Life.
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead, let's pull that out, and let's get the signature. Perfect.
Cool.
So all of my guests get the beauty and the benefit of signing this. And as you can see, this peel is blank.
It's fresh.
So that means you get to be the very first signature.
Fresh. Okay, I think because I'm right-handed, it might just be the easiest. Sorry, everybody else who's on this. I'm gonna take this portion down here. Does it matter how big?
Doesn't matter.
What if I just did like my signature like this big?
All right, maybe it matters. It matters a little bit. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I got you, for sure. I'm gonna do like this. Yeah.
Nice.
cool with that?
I love it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you.
Hey, man. Absolutely.
I'll see you again.
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. So now, yeah, we're gonna get
Oh, should we? Yeah.
a little thumbnail. So we'll just take a picture next to it.
Absolutely. Probably a little sweaty, so I
Down a little bit.
apologize.
You're good.